Good evening, Commonwealth. Thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Chris Nelson. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. A new passenger fee for tourists goes into effect tomorrow at Smiling Cove Marina. Also tonight, the casino and a pit boss are sued in federal court. Allegations are serious. And Be Counted, the census held every 10 years, opens its doors on Saipan, and they say they will hire hundreds. In sports, a goal fest highlights our M-League Game of the Week. Stay with us. These stories and more are next.
"48 hours. That's all we get in a week. But those 48 hours, we try to make them last forever. How? By filling in fast with all the right stuff. With a lot of laughter, a little drama, some adventure, and a whole lot of love.
Dad, Mom's here.
It happens pretty quick,
Bye, Dad.
but it's cool. Because the rest of the week, we talk about our plans
You want to go to the beach?
on how to make the next 48 hours last us a lifetime.
At one of Saipan's beaches, this mother lays about 100 eggs under the cover of darkness. She hides her nest as best she can and then slowly makes her way back to the ocean. The eggs hatch and the babies head for the sea, where they will face a daily dose of danger. Just 1 in 1,000 will make it to adulthood. Those that do will one day lay their own eggs. Sea turtles are protected under CNMI law. If you see one that is stranded or if you see illegal activity, call the hotline at 287-8537.
Hafaday Tirwami and good evening, Commonwealth. It is October the 10th, Thursday night. A new passenger fee goes into effect tomorrow morning at Smiling Cove Marina. Fish and Wildlife Director Manny Pangilinan says starting tomorrow, boats using the transient dock at Smiling Cove will need to start paying a $3 per person passenger fee. Boat operators are supposed to have wristbands for each customer, and they need to prepay those or get invoiced for wristbands in advance. Those wristbands are then going to be given to customers to wear. Local passengers are exempt. People will not be able to pay on the spot. Pangilinan says they are actually not allowed to collect money in that area. Fish and Wildlife says the passenger fee is good for the whole day and applies to all customers, not just those going to Managaha, but also divers, parasailers, trollers, and banana boaters. A complaint has been filed in federal court by a Chinese woman against an American pit boss and the company he works for. A Chinese CW worker working as a pit supervisor inside the IPI casino says in her complaint that in January 2017, Stephen Brown began to exhibit a sexual interest in her. The woman, who is represented by attorney Bill Fitzgerald, says she told him that she had an existing relationship with someone else and wanted nothing more than a friendly relationship. She says he responded with explicit pictures and videos. She says he also tried to kiss her and touched her hips and buttocks without her permission at work. In her complaint, she says when she refused to take his calls, he then responded with punitive actions at work. The woman says she filed a complaint in September of 2018 against Brown with the HR department, but the company did not investigate it properly or promptly, and she later learned that he had been given a promotion. According to his Facebook page, he is or was the assistant shift manager for IPI and previously worked in Las Vegas for Harrah's. In December of 2018, the woman says the behavior resumed. She reported it again to an IPI supervisor. The woman is asking for punitive damages against Brown for sexual harassment and against IPI for failure to prevent sexual predators in a position of authority. We attempted to call IPI for comment today and were not successful. How many people live in the CNMI? Estimates are 54,000, but we're about to find out for sure as the census kicks off. But as Sally Lemus reports, census is about a lot more than numbers.
Let's be counted, CNMI. Olumaya and Susmas.
Leaders and officials met this morning to observe the grand opening of the 2020 CNMI Census Office. The census is a survey conducted every 10 years, counting the local population and producing high-quality data used to make the decisions of the CNMI.
Data from the 2020 census of CNMI will paint a statistical picture of the islands that will help ensure your community gets the funding that it needs. Census data impact our daily lives, informing important decisions about funding for services and infrastructure in the community, including healthcare, jobs, roads, schools, and businesses.
Joyce states by February next year, field staff will be sent out to identify where each resident resides. They will then gather demographic, social, and economic information by visiting each household.
Census is everything, including, when we make decisions on how we appropriate, which neighborhoods need more, what areas need more schools or community programs. It's helpful to have that data, so when we decide on appropriations and a budget, we use that data to help us be fair to the whole community.
3 key members of the U.S. Census Bureau were present this morning to assure the public of the security and safety of all information gathered.
We have a lot of safeguards along the way that ensures that the information that people give us is held confidential and we don't report out on any one individual.
A massive hiring for the Census Office will be conducted over the weekend starting tomorrow at the Multipurpose Center.
We are looking about over 300 part-time employees for field, enumerators, crew leaders, field operation supervisors. We have about another, I want to say up to 40 clerks in this office for full-time that we have not hired. So they're all announced in that flyer that we have in Facebook. Please, just show up there, fill out the application.
This is Sally Lemis for KSPN News.
Thanks, Sally. Managaha Island remained closed today as the waves from Typhoon Hagibis remained in the area. Tassi Tours said they expect Managaha to be open tomorrow. They'll make a final determination in the morning. Weather and ocean conditions were improving. Saipan Grotto did reopen today. As ocean conditions return to normal, there's a push to open the shipping lanes. Yesterday, there was still a freeze on big boats coming through the channel. The Coast Guard explains.
So those are the aids to navigation that all the ships are using to come into the main channel over to the port. And so what our job is, after a big storm, we go out there and check their lat and long just to ensure that they're still in the same spot. So when the vessels do come into port, they're going to be in good water, meaning that they're going to have enough water underneath them to make it into the port. So once we have that done, we'll be able to lift port condition Zulu, and vessels will be able to start coming back in as far as the goods like container ships, tank ships, things like that.
So you have GPS coordinates on those and you just go back and make sure they're in the same spot?
That's correct, that's correct.
And then what do you do if they've moved?
If they move, we're going to have a Coast Guard cutter come out here, and then they're going to take the buoy and then put it back in its proper place.
All right, those navigational aids. Next up, we're going to have a really interesting story about a guy who doesn't need a lot of navigational aids or modern technology to get where he wants to go. He underwent a very special ceremony right here on Saipan. More news.
Get the phone plan you're looking for at IT&E. Stay connected with the strongest, widest, and most reliable network in the Marianas. Stream, share, play, shop, and surf the web with super fast 4G LTE data. Whether you need just a few gigabytes of data to get by, or if you want to go further with unlimited data, there's a plan for you. You'll always get the best price. Visit any IT&E store or call us to learn more. IT&E. Explore your world.
Watch watch the Visitors Channel online, on time, anytime at saipantv.com. Where to go, what to see, what to do. Restaurants, spas, activities, and culture, it's all in one place, in high definition, on your mobile device. saipantv.com. Check it out.
Welcome back. You're watching the Thursday night edition of the Channel 2 News. After devoting most of his life to navigation and sailing across Micronesia, Tony Pielug is given the title of Master Navigator, the first also from Saipan.
For the first time in hundreds of years, the Po ceremony was conducted on Saipan. To most, this is a huge piece of who we are and the beginning of where we are today. This sacred ritual, dating back to thousands of years ago, is the initiation ceremony for Tony Pielug, who is the first Master Navigator of Saipan. Grand Master Navigator Ali Halialur chants as he divides the breadfruit for Tony and for the navigation schools across Micronesia. Even though most schools are gone, he still calls out each school as a sign of respect to the masters.
Farul Sabu Farah.
The men who served as legs in the ceremony are covered in a native medicine to be protected and blessed by the spirits. After this phase of the ritual, the Grand Masters and Tony gather as they start to pound knowledge of constellation and other navigational secrets onto him. He stays inside the canoe house for 2 more days and absorbs everything that is taught onto him.
Once somebody went through the Po ceremony, everybody respect them because they're totally different from when they were still like among the people they're not recognized yet. But initiating them is totally different because they are now having a title which people are looking up to them, to pay respect to them because they are the provider of the community.
Tony's family are happy for him as this achievement has been long awaited.
It brings back a lot of memories to all of those pictures and all of those stories he used to tell us about how Satawal was and how all of the ceremonies used to go. But me seeing it for myself, it's very, very nice to see my dad surrounded by people that he loves and people that loves him, and seeing his accomplishments that he's been working so hard for.
It's a very joyous, wonderful feeling. It's, if I may say, really getting rooted. It's how we all started. It was from the canoe. It's useless we have a canoe, but we don't know what to do with it. So all of these are all parts of how to get to somewhere. But most importantly, how to come back home.
People around the community join Tony on this special day to witness the traditions of Micronesia.
I feel like I'm witnessing a once-in-a-lifetime event, and to see that these traditions are being passed on is really critical, especially right now, at a time of a lot of change and increased militarization around our island, to see that these navigational techniques are really kind of being, passed on and continue to be reinvigorated in the community, I think is key to our a thriving community, local community here.
The ceremony ended on Tuesday afternoon with a feast celebrating the graduation of Tony. This is Sally Lemis for KSPN News.
Wow, what a story. We've been waiting to show you this story, and the typhoon kind of derailed it a little bit. Beautifully shot and edited by our own master, Tone Atalig, and written by Sally Lemis. Hope you enjoyed that one. The Department of Corrections on Guam is going through some turbulent times, KUAM News reports.
Hafide CNMI, here's what's making news on Guam. Just how far does the corruption go? Those words from the legislature's acting public safety chair, Vice Speaker Talina Nelson. She's held an oversight hearing Wednesday night for the island's prison. Chris Barnett has more.
Legislative Acting Public Safety Chair Vice Speaker Talina Nelson says the Department of Corrections has a lot of work to do. Nelson, assuming control of the Public Safety Committee after Senator Jose Pito Terlahi temporarily stepped away from the chairmanship after his son, former DOC Deputy Joey Terlahi, was named by an FBI agent in federal court. Joey Terlahi resigning from his position at the prison days after that, the legislature deciding in caucus that Nelson would be, quote, given authority, but Senator Pito Terlahi remains the chairperson. This, according to a release from Nelson. Today, Nelson tells KUAM News there's no telling how long she'll have the authority to oversee public safety.
It's pretty open-ended. I spoke with Senator Pito Terlahi, and it's an open-ended situation to have the authority to hold oversight hearings and to request documentation to justify the need for an oversight hearing.
Vice Speaker Nelson wasted no time promptly scheduling an oversight hearing for DOC the same day she announced her public safety takeover. Nelson says she has not ruled out pushing for a state of emergency to be declared at the Manilao facility.
The state of emergency is one of the things we're looking at.
DOC has more problems than you can shake a stick at, but Nelson says she plans to focus on the erroneous release of inmates. During Joint Mayor Jesse Blas's arraignment hearing, an FBI agent said Mayor Blas had connections to get inmates released from DOC for $15,000.
How far does the corruption go?
Nelson says she was very concerned about the number of startling revelations revealed during Blas's arraignment hearing, including an active federal investigation into court-martials. Also mentioned in open court by the feds, an unknown GPD officer threatening an informant, allegedly on behalf of Mayor Blas.
If I see this kind of allegations come into the light, I question the whole system.
Nelson also says she'll ask for a follow-up on how procedures and policies have changed at DOC since inmates and guards were brought down in a major sting involving drug trafficking at the prison.
Because we really haven't had any significant updates, just through the news and the court system. But what are they really doing to ensure that these things do not happen again?
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Stay connected via our KUAM mobile news app. Follow us on any of the social media platforms and sign up for our weekly email newsletter, KUAM Digital Digest, on KUAM.com. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
All right, coming up in the KSPN2 Sports Report, the Marauders stay true to their name. We'll have hoop highlights on the other side of the break.
Faster, easier to use. With live TV, recordings, video on demand, and streaming apps, all in a single place. When you're looking for something new, recommendations are tailored to you. Voice-powered, personalized results to find what you want faster. And the unlimited potential of smart home. The new experience from TiVo is here.
Bubblegum Shrimp Company opens daily at 11 a.m. Located on Beach Road in the heart of Garapan.
You deserve more. I know it's been hard. Come on, let's go for a ride.
Hi, welcome to the Rent to Own. I love this.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now this feels like home.
Dial Rent to Own.
Making lives better since 1987.
Buena sports fans. Buena sports fans, there was an explosion Sunday afternoon in Coblerville. Maybe you didn't hear it. That's okay. You can see it. It was an explosion of goals. Fortunately, no one was hurt, except for one team's place in the M League standings.
Pyrie and KSPN2 in the house versus KFAS in brilliant white. Chris Nelson takes the corner kick. It's headed the wrong way, though, by Trey Dung, and KFAS was able to stop it. But could they get past Pyrie's goalie, Dave Bush, the only player in this league who doesn't get older every year? A rare mistake, though. He comes off of the goal, kicks the ball gently to Wap Young Kim, who gathers himself, finds his target, and scores! Pyrie retaliates. TJ Balama to Trey Dunn, the left foot chip shot. Good! Nelson with the boot. 1, 2, 3. Called out a triple header. Whit Althusser comes in and he just misses the score. Nelson, another corner attempt. Johnny Burrell. He takes the ball and himself into the net for another Pyrie goal. Trey Don, the blast off the post. So he tries again. The goalie's there, though, this time to stop that attack. Johnny to TJ. And there's another save. More offense. Samuel Smith sees the goalie come out, so he rolls the ball in for another Pyrie score. 2 minutes later, Samuel adds another goal. KFAS with Chong Koo Gil. The corner. Robbie Shore is there to defend it. Pyrie wins this one 7-2.
Let's check in with the most recent action in the AKMIBL Semi-Pro Basketball League. The Caravan Marauders. KSPN2 Sports loves that name. Caravan Marauders, one of the teams that's climbing up the standings as this season passes the midway mark.
Saturday night's all right for hoops. Just give these kids a place to play. Well, it's the big kids' turn. The Caravan Marauders with Sidney Kwan feeding Alex Standish for the spin and in. Marauders up by 14 in the first half. Jonathan Gillis drives Toyota to a field goal. Plus draws the foul, a three-point play the old-fashioned way. No three-pointers in the NBA until 1979. AK claws to within 10. Prince Factor, the push-off, the shot off and in, and then the call-off. Elbows only allowed in MMA. Alex Laurent, the drop-off for Kelvin. The big hit, Fidial, and he makes the big shot. He's the boss of us. Good ball movement. Jonathan gives it up for Kelvin. His shot falls, and so does he. Measured 4.1 on the Richter scale. Ball hawking defense. Ken Varai, the swipe and scored. The league's leading scorer dropped in 32 points. Here's a classic, tried and true way to score. The old give and go. Josh Andrews and Varai, they work it to perfection. George de Guzman. He loves the baseline. It's his best friend. That and the free throw line. Toyota within 7. Here come the Marauders. The inbounds to Varai. The step back three. Oh, when you're hot, you're him. He had 32 points. Where's Miles Standish these days? Anyway, we have Alex, though. That's good enough for this Caravan. He had 20 points. And that's 20 more than Miles Standish ever scored in his life. Caravan was back up by double digits. LaRon, the clanker. Oh, there's the window cleaner there. Mr. Windex himself. Fidel Paste AK with 29 big points. Having his way inside, he overpowered the Marauders inside. They were no match for him. More aggression. Sometimes aggression pays off. No one there to stop him. He was giving them the best chance to win. But Salam Yunus and the Marauders just too deep. He hits from the trench. That's 87-68 win. Marauders improve to 4-2, while AK Toyota drops to 2-4.
Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw.
Let's roll at Gold's Gym Saipan with group exercise for every body. Total Resistant Exercise, or TRX, helps develop your core and improve strength. And Zumba toning is probably the funnest way to get fit. The Shake Cafe is a great place to stop by for a meal replacement or supplements. Today is the first day of the rest of your life.
Traveling or laying over on Guam? Don't wait around. Zip into Guam Adventures Zipline Park inside the Hilton Resort and Spa. Guides will take you through a series of zips, starting with a mountain course and then zip over the ocean with spectacular views of Tumon Bay. 6 zip lines in all deliver a thrilling experience, and it's family friendly, so bring the kids ages 6 and up. You'll love the security of double lines and a new braking system to make riding smoother. The towers are named after the islands in the Marianas. We call it the Island Hopper. Your guides will teach you what you need to know to soar through the jungle with a bird's eye view. Best of all, for residents of Saipan, Tinian, and Rota, you can book this experience at 20% savings. Log on to GuamAdventures.com and during checkout, use offer code HAFA20. Book it and zip it today. We'll even pick you up.
Today's high temperature 86, the low 79. Humidity 90% tomorrow. Partly sunny skies, some isolated showers. Southwest winds 5 to 15 miles an hour, getting lighter. High 87, low 77 C's. Still a little bit choppy out there, 79 feet. Sunrise 6:08, low tide at 12:21, and then sunset at 5:59.
Well, Bob, what happened to the typhoon?
What's going to happen to that typhoon? It's going right to Japan. It's forecast to hit Tokyo this weekend. And I saw a picture of the eye, 35 miles wide. It's,
wow.
It's a still super typhoon. It's been a super typhoon for 60 hours. It's the longest super typhoon of 2019.
Whoa.
And it's packing destructive winds. Expected to hit Tokyo as a Category 1 or Category 2. But yeah, nothing to mess around with. And there's a World Rugby Championships are going on in Japan right now.
That could, they may switch those to
indoor
stadiums.
Those guys are pretty.
Although it'll stop the trains if it's,
yeah,
sometimes those typhoons.
Rugby players are pretty tough, but no match for this super typhoon.
Couple of quick updates. CPA said this afternoon, airports and seaports back to normal. That includes the TSA and CBP. They also have referred, many people saw a helicopter that landed on Middle Road in front of Exo Market the other day right before the storm, and they have referred that to the FAA to go out and do an inspection.
Yeah, I saw a picture on that. Social media, it went viral.
People aren't used to seeing that. Of course, the owners of Exo Market, I believe, are the owners of the helicopter, and we're putting it away for safekeeping before the storm. The Dodgers lost today, Bob. I felt bad for you.
That's it for baseball's over. I'm turning my attention to the NFL, Detroit Lions. That's my team this year.
It was a good game going into the seventh inning.
The 10th inning was terrible. I can't watch it. Can't see that. So.
So we'll see the
Cardinals and the
Astros
Nationals
tomorrow.
Game
play
5, Tampa Bay.
Game
Okay,
5.
I'll give. Yeah, if Tampa Bay wins, then I'll regain interest.
All right. That is news, sports, and weather on this Thursday night in the Commonwealth. Thanks for watching.
Good night.